Wednesday, everyone. I see that the chat is already going off. We have Miley in here, Jessica, Maria, George is in here as well. Kendra, Marie, Nicole, Dave, Robert, Jessica, Betty is in here, Belle, hello, Julie K, Melissa, you guys, Miss Heather just popped in, Connie, LH, Patty. How is everyone feeling? How is everyone doing? We have so much to get into on this Wednesday happy hour hang, you guys. We are going to be talking about A$AP Rocky and Rihanna, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly, a little bit of Bieber tea, and then we are going to get into this Taylor Swift and Blake Lively update. I feel like we had to know an update on Taylor and Blake's friendship was coming. This report has been heavily discussed all over the internet today. Obviously, Blake and Justin is a topic in and of itself, but I feel like this is kind of one of the first updates we've gotten regarding Taylor Swift and how she's feeling and where her and Blake stand now. We're going to get into it. We're going to discuss Life with Marissa. So don't forget to hit that thumbs up and also don't forget the screenshot. Yes, Marissa, thank you for reminding me. If you guys are here and you haven't given this video a thumbs up yet, please go ahead and do so. And now I'm ready for the screenshot. Marissa, ready? 3, 2. You guys, shout out to Marissa. She always makes sure that I look good in the screenshot. She shares to social media. And I know I always say, but if that's not a girl's girl, I don't know what is. I don't know what is. Also, Crimson Rose just popped in. Robert, happy Wednesday, everyone. I appreciate y'all and hope you had a good Wednesday. Yes, I hope everyone has been having a fantastic day. I don't know about anyone else, but this week has felt like a lot. Today specifically, I don't know what it was, you guys. I woke up, my anxiety was like 12 out of 10. I actually took a break midday and went for a walk, which I normally don't do that because I feel like I shouldn't take breaks during the day. But I actually called Mama Hill and I was like, you are not gonna believe what I am doing. But I was just so wound up that I was like, I need to go outside. I need to go outside. I need to see some sun. I need to go for a walk. I went and grabbed some lunch. I grabbed a salad. And I will say, I did feel so much better just getting outside. I know obviously also today is the beginning of Lunar New Year. Happy Lunar New Year to anyone who celebrates. It's the year of the snake. And we're kind of like shedding and going through transformation. I also think for me sometimes it's also a new moon. Yes, thank you. And also I think too, something I forget, because I don't really identify with an earth sign. Well, like I do, obviously I'm a Taurus, but sometimes I forget that Tauruses are earth signs. And so as cheesy as it might sound, I really do feel like as an earth sign, even though I would not consider myself an outdoorsy individual, but sometimes just getting outside and going for a walk, it is crazy how much it really does make you feel better and kind of amplify your mood and getting those endorphins flowing. I also decided to have a little afternoon Diet Coke, which like that always makes everything better as well. So feeling better, but I didn't know if anyone else was feeling, we were talking about this a little bit in the group chat, feeling just like an anxious energy today. You're not alone. There's a lot of stuff going on. We're gonna get through this together. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be an amazing, amazing year. Everything that I've been seeing about this year, it's going to lead to a lot of greatness. All of the seeds that we plant during this new moon are going to be coming to fruition 6 months from now. It's gonna be good. And I also feel like we've been saying that for a while now. We've been planting the seeds. And so I feel like good, it's a good omen all around. Good omen all around. I'm laughing. Crimson Rose said Jay was my therapist today. Jelena was all of our therapists in the group chat today. Shout out to Jelena, always helping us through. Tabitha is also in here as well. Miss Ace is in here. Joy just popped in. Hey everyone, don't forget to like and join the membership. Yes, thank you for reminding me. If you guys are considering joining the membership, please do so. You know I'm trying to hit 200 members by my birthday. I'm like I think I checked this morning and we're about 120 away. So definitely, if you are considering it, do it. It is so much fun. We have been in the group chat all day. That's one part of the membership that is just a time. You also get access to a members only live. You get access to a members only video every single Friday. You get access to that group chat. Your name is highlighted. You get fun emojis. You get a super chat once a month. You really get a lot of fun things. It is truly, I feel like, something I'm so proud of, and it is just an extension of our already amazing, amazing community that we have here. Off topic, what's happening with Toasted Tea Pod? Marie, Toasted Tea Pod is still happening. Courtney and I's schedules this month have just been a little off with the fires and playing catch up from the holidays. So mine and Courtney's podcast, Toasted Tea, will definitely be coming back. If it doesn't come back this week, it will at the beginning of February. It has just simply been a crazy, crazy time for both of us, and we are trying to get back into the swing of things. Let's see. Bex is also here. Hi, Madison. Oh my gosh, you are so fine. You are so fine. You're just in time. We're just catching up with one another. Let's see who else is in here as well. Betty Ann said, Madison, thank you. I needed to hear that. Anxiety is at 1,000,000% today for sure. Betty Ann, I'm so happy that you know you are not alone. Like, we are all going through it today. Color said 2025 is testing us in January. It really is. Like, does anyone else not feel like this January has just been insane? And this is kind of an embarrassing, well, it's not that embarrassing. I haven't even put together my vision board. And that is something I was so on top of last year. But normally I try to put together like a little phone background vision board situation. Haven't even done that yet. I've just been completely slacking. So February 1st, I really feel like, we're really going to be cooking with gasoline to get into all of the New Year's things. Christy said January's been 6 months long. Literally tea. Mr. Morass and Madison, we won our second basketball game. Yay, that is so exciting. I'm so happy for you. Yes, hopefully February will be full of love and more chill. Yes, Shelby, we're going to get into my thoughts about the Taylor thing. Abso-freaking-lutely. Daisy said 2025 is like you haven't seen anything yet. 2025 is starting so strong. Like, 2025, dare I say, is starting a little too strong. I feel like 2024 for me started not ideally, and then 2025 came in and said, we're going to come in and also test your patience. But that's okay. You know what? These tests are meant to be there so we can persevere and keep it pushing and show our growth, and we're going to be okay. Yeah, colors, I will say, I don't know how anyone was doing dry January this month. I was trying to do like a damp January situation, and then, which is like not totally not drinking. I don't feel like I ever need to do a whole cold turkey cut, but for anyone who is doing dry January during this month, bless you, because the universe has been testing you 1,000,000%. Let's see who else is popping in here as well. Mystery said I was evacuated for fires. Oh my gosh, so were we. I'm so happy that you're okay. Hopefully everything is okay. Sending love to Miss Heather as well. I know her family was affected by the fires here in California, as well as a couple other members in the House of Hill had family members here. So sending love to anyone who was affected, because that is going to be something we're dealing with as a city for several years now. It's not just going to be at the end of January. This is going to be something that is going to be years rebuilding for sure. You guys, we are going to get into fun stuff. We're going to get into A$AP Rocky and Rihanna. We're going to talk about Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. I hope Gigi's here. I saw someone say hi, Gigi. So hopefully Gigi is in here because she loves the royalty. Jessica, you can also weigh in as well. MGK, Megan Fox, a little Justin and Haley, Taylor and Blake. And then I do have a skosh of Tavis tea for you guys, because, I feel like we're going to need a little palate cleanser after all of that Taylor, Blake, Justin Baldoni. We always need something to kind of remind us that everything's gonna be okay. You know what I mean? Everything's gonna be okay. Also, Joy is a February baby. Oh my God, yay. I feel like we don't have a lot of February babies. Are there any other February babies in the chat? Let me know. I feel like we had a lot of October. Obviously, we have a lot of Tauruses. But let me know if there's any other February babies because you know we have to celebrate. That means you're, oh, the Roz Rodriguez, okay. Colors is February. Alina is February. Oh my God, so many. Okay. Unique, Mystery Singer. Hello, hello. Wow, you guys really said, LOL girl. Several February babies in this chat. Taylor's Tarot. Okay, wow. We got a lot of February babies. So that means that your birthday month starts February 1st. We start celebrating you February 1st because y'all know I am a fan of birthday months, not just birthdays. So all of those birthdays, we will begin celebrating you in just a couple days on February 1st. And I cannot wait. Jelena, I'm laughing. My sister's a Pisces. Imagine that. Taurus and a Pisces. One person who is non-emotional, the other person who is very emotional. Let's see. We also have Justice in here as well in class currently. Looking forward to after watching tonight. Justice, enjoy class. I love that you're doing a little multitasking to say hello. Let's go ahead and get into it, you guys, because I feel like we have a lot that we all want to discuss. And I know that we all want to get into the Taylor and Blake tea. So let's get through the things we need to get through first. And then we'll get into that. So kicking things off with A$AP Rocky and Rihanna. Rihanna showed up to support A$AP Rocky during his trial today. Now, members, you know, we talked about this during our Members Only Live yesterday. We were like, is she going to show up? Is she not? She showed up. And she actually clearly went through a back door because there was no chaos in the front. She just was popped up in the courtroom, which I think is iconic. She was seen sitting with A$AP Rocky's mom and sister. TMZ reports that the jurors clearly noticed her presence. Now, as far as where we're at in the trial, so I saw someone say, what is A$AP Rocky being accused of? Bex. So A$AP Rocky is being accused of shooting his friend A$AP Relly during a disagreement in November of 2021. The disagreement was in Hollywood. He faces up to 24 years in prison, which is not good. He was offered a plea deal. He did not take the plea deal because he felt like the plea deal was still going to take up 8 years of his life. And so that is why he didn't. That's why he's going to trial. Rihanna was there supporting him. As far as where they're at in the trial right now, we know last week they did opening statements. This week, A$AP Relly did go ahead and testify. And his testimony, from what I saw of it, he said that he had never seen A$AP carry a pew-pew prior to their disagreement. The whole situation was caught on CCTV, which is like security cameras on the streets. You can't really fully see who is holding the pew-pew. But A$AP's lawyers are reportedly trying to argue that the pew-pew that appears in the CCTV footage was actually a prop. It wasn't real, so there's no way A$AP could have done this because it wasn't a real pew-pew. That's the case his lawyers are going with. Obviously, the prosecution is arguing otherwise, but Rihanna was there. She is sticking by A$AP Rocky. She was sitting with his family, definitely making sure her presence is known, her presence is felt, and clearly supporting him. And we will see where this goes. But yeah, 24 years is what he's facing, which is serious. I mean, that's the understatement of the century. We will see what ends up happening. Also, Lullaby, Nights of Insomnia are worthy when Madison's live. Cheers from Amsterdam. Oh my gosh, thank you for staying up late. I really, really, really appreciate it. Shout out to all of our international House of Hill members who stay up late, wake up early, do whatever you need to do to catch the tea. I really, really appreciate it. And also shout out to all of our after watchers as well. You guys know that these happy hour hangs could not continue without y'all. So I really, really appreciate you. Jelena said, Madison, do you think A$AP should have taken the plea deal? Here's the thing. If he is innocent. I understand him not wanting to take the plea deal because with the plea deal, he would have had to plead guilty to the more serious charge, and that was assault with, I think it was a very serious charge that he would have had to, not with a deadly weapon, but he would have had to plead guilty to the more serious charge, which if he's innocent, you don't want that obviously on your record. He still would have had to serve 18 months. He would have been on probation. He would have paid a fine. I don't know. It's so hard for me, an assault weapon, thank you. It's so hard for me to say what I think he should have done. I think if he is innocent and he does not want that on his record, I understand him not taking the plea deal. I also personally just have very little faith in the justice system. So sometimes I'm like, oh, it feels like a really big gamble to put your life in the justice system's hands. But I, assume you just have to trust that it will do the right thing. Trust that if you're innocent, your innocence will prevail. And also, I would assume that his lawyer feels pretty confident going to trial. I don't think his lawyer would have advised him to not take it if his lawyer didn't feel confident. But again, y'all, we are at the early stages of the trial. Like, we are only in the second week. So I think there is going to there's going to be a lot that happens before. So we've got to see what happens and definitely stay tuned. This is not his first incident, Betty. No, which is why the potential consequences are more severe. And again, this was an incident that happened in 2021 and just now going to trial. So, yeah. Okay, moving on. Let's get into Meghan Markle and Prince Harry because I'm very curious to see y'all's opinions on the situation. So remember when I filled you guys in on that hit piece that came out in Vanity Fair? We talked about this, I think, a couple weeks ago. And it was that article talking about how Meghan, hi Sophia, hope you're staying safe with the crazy winds where you are. It was that article that came out where people who have been working for Meghan were once again saying she treats her employees poorly, she creates a toxic work environment, and it was kind of talking about all of those things that Meghan has been accused of before. But something else that was mentioned in this article, and we did briefly touch on it, was that Meghan was preparing to write a divorce book after her and Harry's relationship ended. Now, if you remember, we actually didn't even pay very much attention to this divorce book allegation because there were sources who are quoted in that Vanity Fair article saying, I don't know where this is coming from. They're very much in love. Their relationship is real. So I, honestly, you guys, as soon as I saw other sources contradict that divorce book statement, I was like, okay, we're not even paying attention to it. They've time and time again said, we're fine. We're doing independent projects, but our marriage is in a good spot. No need to be concerned. However, we now have a new report from Life and Style magazine where sources giving us some more insight into how Harry felt about this divorce book allegation. This insider noted how Harry and Meghan were aware that some kind of article was coming as they had heard that journalists were poking around. But the source said, quote, Harry didn't expect anything like this. It shocked him to his core. He apparently found the divorce book accusation unsettling to the point that Meghan has now had to, quote, assure him the whole thing was blown out of proportion and that she's in this for keeps. This insider also noted that the pressure these claims have put on them has, quote, been intense. And once again, they're having to defend themselves and their relationship. Here's the thing. I do believe that Harry and Meghan are probably fine. I've said that once. I'll say it again. However, I do also think two things can be true at once. And that when Harry saw this accusation in this article, I can see him finding that a little concerning. Like, where did that come from? You know what I mean? Why on earth is anyone in any of our offices even thinking that that's a remote possibility? Like, I would have an issue with that if I were Harry. I would need some reassurance of like, is this something you said in passing? Is this something someone overheard? Is this something that someone blew out of proportion? I would need a little, I would want some clarification on that. Again, I don't think she's planning a divorce book. I would hope she's not planning a divorce book. And again, other people in this article backed up that they are in a loving relationship. They don't see a divorce coming anytime soon. But I can see Harry reading that and being like, WTF? What the heck? I don't know. Again, concerning. I hope this doesn't make things more difficult for them. But just a weird little tidbit of information from that Vanity Fair article. And I'm just so curious where that came from. Clearly something had to have been said in passing for someone to report that back to this journalist, but very odd, very odd. The Roz Rodriguez said, thanks for all you do. Have a caffeine-free, sugar-free drink, another Diet Coke to help with the anxiety. The Roz, tea. I probably should be doing a caffeine-free, but it's a baby, so I feel like it's okay. A little Bebe Diet Coke. These are my favorite because sometimes I feel like I can't drink a whole can of Diet Coke fast enough. And so these are my guilty pleasure, the little Bebe cans of Diet Coke. Betty said, what does he think she said? Is he that insecure? Do we think that's insecurity? And I guess being insecure is one way to look at it, because I see what you're saying, Betty. If he wasn't insecure, he would read that claim and be like, that is so false and ridiculous. It's not even a discussion. So bringing it up does show a little bit of insecurity. But I think for me, where I would struggle is I would be like, why do any of our employees think that's a possibility? I guess that's more so the tea I would want to know. Not that I would necessarily be like, you're planning to divorce me and write a book about it. I'd be like, who in the F have you been telling this around the office to? In front of our employees. Not okay. Not okay. Beck said people just really need to leave them alone. Joy said maybe it started out like a joke, two girls talking, and she jokingly said, I'll write a book if it happens, and it got blown up. I think they're happy. I love Harry. That's also a very fair theory as well. I mean, you guys know I love Harry as well. I am a Harry girly. Always have been, probably always will be. You know what I mean? Something about the bad boy royal always spoke to me. Always been a team Harry girly. And that's why I'm rooting for their marriage. I also feel like they've sacrificed so much, but I know that people do not like Meghan. I know people are going to hear this and be like, Madison, Meghan is messy. I don't know why Harry is sticking around. He should have one foot out the door, ready to go. This is his sign. But I do root for them. You know what I mean? Abby said, I feel like she would make a joke like that. I'm rooting for them too. Yeah, maybe it was just a little joke. Meghan was married before. Betty said, why does it have to be true that she said it and not something made up by gossip? Also too, that's also a possibility. LH said, I always loved Harry, but now I don't like him at all. That turned on his own. Not a fan of Harry. Not a fan of Harry after he turned on the fan. I get it. I feel like a lot of people feel like that as well. Betty said, I'm team Harry, not because he's a bad boy, but because he's the spare. Very fair, Betty. And Beck said, if this was the other way around, it would still be hate towards Meghan. Also tea. Crystal said, Harry's my favorite royal. Agreed. So I will keep you all updated if anything else comes out. I feel like now there's going to be a magnifying glass on their marriage because this is obviously putting a little crack in the situation. And so I feel like now people are going to be hyper focused on any of their behavior, any of their outings that they do after this. So we'll be keeping an eye and I'll be keeping y'all updated. Let's go ahead and move on to MGK and Megan Fox. So Machine Gun Kelly is now seemingly clapping back to a rumor that is going around about him and Megan Fox. So yesterday, and this is why it's so important to be in the membership, because members, you already know a piece of this tea. You got the tea a little early, some of this. Yesterday, TMZ put out a report that Megan Fox and MGK are not on speaking terms. And Megan Fox is about to give birth in March, okay? This source said they're not talking to one another. There's no communication. MGK doesn't even know really what his role is going to be once Megan goes into labor. These sources were saying those in Megan's life are happy that she seems to be done with MGK. They don't want her to get back with him. They want her to be done once and for all. Remember, these two announced their pregnancy in September, I believe, or October. And by Thanksgiving, they were broken up. They were broken up. They were on a trip around Thanksgiving. And Megan Fox allegedly found some messages on MGK's phone that were, quote, relationship ending. So now, again, we heard they're not talking. Well, MGK posted on his Instagram something that is seemingly clapping back at this claim that they're not talking. It's 2 photos of him staring out the window, and his caption says, "How can sources say when the sources haven't said anything?" How can the sources say when the sources haven't said anything? I will be honest with you guys, I feel like I'm not surprised that MGK is clapping back. He sometimes does this whenever it comes to him and Megan's relationship, and I think he really does not want the public to think that he is a bad partner and a not present father. So I think that's why he is posting this to be like, well, the sources aren't saying anything. Don't believe everything you read. Because that report yesterday painted him out to be not great, okay? You were texting and messaging someone that you shouldn't be. You're not in communication with Megan. She's about to give birth to your child in March. You don't know what your role is going to be. None of that painted MGK in a favorable light. So it makes complete sense to me that he's going to go on his Instagram and cast doubt and try to, plead his case a little bit, so to speak, to be like, oh, well, don't believe it all. Again, I feel like these two are just in one big game of ping pong. It's constant back and forth, and I understand the people in Megan Fox's life being like, can we please just put an end to the back and forth, and can we co-parent? You know what I mean? Like, please, let's just figure out a co-parenting plan and be done. Because it really does feel like a lot of back and forth. They truly give me a headache as well. I do think their baby's gonna be adorable. I saw Jelena say that. Marie said very immature. Lullaby said MGK and Megan are like a fever dream and they behave like teenagers. And I'm not saying, I wasn't saying that he is a bad dad. I wanna make that clear. I'm just saying that's kind of what the report is putting out, that energy. We know he's a very present father with the child that he does have. He co-parents very well. But I'm just saying that report that came out yesterday about them not talking, him not knowing his role, people in Megan's life not wanting them to get back together. Again, reminding everyone that he was messaging people that he shouldn't have been messaging. Just doesn't paint him in a good light, which is why I think he would want to try to at least combat that a little bit over on Instagram by casting doubt for people. Song of the Fear said, sounds like a source related to Megan. Oh, 1,000,000%. I feel so bad for this kid. Only the kids suffer when adults can't get their act together. Superstar Bella said, Megan and MGK both act like they're still in high school and they're on the teenage hamster wheel chasing their youth. Brian took up too much of her youth. Her ex, Brian Austin Green. And then Crimson Rose said, he is very present. He has his daughter with him almost all the time. Again, Megan met him while he was in a relationship and still chose to mess around and found out. Karma. Sophia said, very messy. Patty said, why can't he just grow up? Again, I want the best for these people, especially now that there's a child involved. However, I will say, and this is just my own personal opinion, I don't think the best for MGK and Megan is for them to be together. I think the best for them is to co-parent this baby, be great friends, get to the point where like you can go and do things together without being romantically together. I think that personally would be what's best, and this is just someone from the outside looking in, because I do feel like their love is very intense. It's not stable. It's up and down. I think there's a lot of it there, but I feel like there's so much of it there that it's almost too much. I've said this before, like borderline's toxic in my opinion. And so I feel like clearly it's great that there's a lot of love there. they're having this child, which I think is amazing. Babies are blessings. But I think get to the point where you can just co-parent, be great friends, do things together without maybe that romantic element, you know? Especially if, again, for me personally, if I am carrying your child, okay, if I am growing a human, I better not find any evidence of you even thinking about another woman, even thinking about someone else. Like, I'm too busy growing fingernails. What do you mean you're messaging someone relationship ending stuff? To me, that's game over. Like, if I'm Megan Fox, we're done. And I think that there was some stuff that happened before. I know that she's tried to say there was never any cheating, but I think there was. For me personally, at this point, I feel like girl has got to be done. I would. For me, it would be a wrap, because no way am I carrying your child and we're on our Thanksgiving trip and I find messages on your phone. Game over. And that is, MGK can post all of the passive aggressive Instagram captions he wants. It's still a no. I would be like, if I were her, because I'm petty, I would have posted and been like, these sources say that it's still a no-go. These sources say that it's still ice cold. But that's just me, you know what I mean? And I imagine, especially if I was with child and I had some rage pent up inside, I would probably do it, which I know is not necessarily mature, because as you all said, one day, obviously their child is going to see all of this, but you know, I can't lie, I probably would have had a sassy response. But again, that's just me. Not saying it's good, bad, or right, just saying that probably would have been me. Okay, let's go ahead, you guys, and move on and get into this quick Bieber tea. And then we're going to get into Taylor Swift and Blake Lively. I love Tabitha said no tolerance. No tolerance policy for cheating. I feel like that is one of our mottos here in the House of Hill. You know how people, like, companies have mission statements? That's one of our mission statements. That's one of our points. No tolerance policy when it comes to cheating and infidelity. But go ahead and give this video a thumbs up if you haven't already, you guys. We're gonna get into this quick Bieber tea and then talk about Taylor and Blake. So we now know how Hailey is feeling about Justin's musical comeback. A source spoke to People magazine and shared that Hailey loves that Justin is so into his music again. She, quote, loves his creative and artistic side. He keeps creating with friends. The source noted that while Justin and Hailey have a great family life, they also enjoy and encourage each other to pursue their passions. AKA, if they're doing separate things, nobody make a big deal about it because they're just encouraging each other's passions. This insider noted that once again, Justin and Hailey are fine, and anyone who spends time with them can tell how in love they are with one another. And I think these inside sources are hoping if we say it enough, that people are going to believe it. And I get it. You know what I mean? I get it. They're fine. They're happy. They are encouraging each other's passions. I think that's amazing. I think that's gorgeous. I think that's beautiful. Then let's just make sure that Justin doesn't do anything on social media that makes people think otherwise. You know what I mean? I think Justin needs to reel in any petty behavior so that way nobody questions anything and we just can keep hearing about how amazing and in love these two are. Dave said, methinks the Biebers doth protest too much. Lullaby said, I'm just curious who's taking care of the baby. Lullaby, I'm sure the baby comes with them on these travels and they just have someone who travels with them. I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt because I feel like people are always like, Madison's always, I'm not. It's funny, today in our group chat, we were talking about celebrities and I talked about how I always try to lead with integrity, which I think y'all know that. Like, I have seen some of these tea channels talking about Justin and Blake and Taylor, and they are just saying like the wildest things, which they're getting views, they're getting clicks, I get it. I was like, I will always try to come at it from a very like diplomatic way while still giving my opinion because I plan on seeing these celebrities face to face one day and I need to own what I say. However, I did say I think the one celebrity who would probably spit in my face is Justin and Haley. Like, I think if Justin and Haley saw me at an event, they'd be like, that girl has had her foot on our necks and we can't stand her. Which, like, honestly fair, but I stand by everything I said. I stand by everything I say. I just feel like it's too much. I'm with Dave. I'm getting a little tired of all of these, they're so in love, they're blocking out the hate, everything's fine, everything's great, they're a family. It's like, why are you feeling the need to overcompensate with these? I guess that would be my question to Justin and Haley. If I saw them right now in front of me, I'd be like, what is with the overcompensating? Because you continually saying like they don't pay attention to the outside noise is just, in my personal opinion, creating more outside noise. Because then we're sitting here being like, dear God, is there that much outside noise that you have to come out every week talking about how in love you are? You know, it just feels like a little bit of overcompensation that I actually don't think is necessary, in my personal opinion. I think it's normal that couples go through stuff. I think it's normal that couples aren't always on the same page. I think it's normal that sometimes as a wife, you are annoyed with something your husband does, just like as a husband, you can be annoyed with something your wife does. I think sometimes, as you guys know, I've said this before, like trying to put on this we're perfect and we're happy and we're in love and everything's great persona, that has to be exhausting and nobody can keep up with that. Nobody can live up to that. Nobody can. You know what I mean? I mean, we're pretty close to perfect here in the House of Hill, obviously. But even us, like, we can't live up to that level of perfection. It's too much. Jessica said, people shouldn't have to tell people how in love with each other. Try not telling anyone anything and keeping some things to yourself. See, I feel that. Color said it's unrealistic to life. Yep, maybe for money. I don't necessarily think they're getting, like, paid for these, but I think, again, as I've told y'all, I think it's benefiting for them to stay in the press right now. As Gigi and I right there, Gigi just said, any press is good press to some people. I think it's benefiting them, especially with Justin getting ready to make this comeback. They want to make sure they're being talked about, but in regards to what they want to be talked about. You know what I mean? Like, they don't want people talking about Usher, Diddy, Scooter, any of that. They would, I think, rather have people talking about this, hence why we keep getting these reports. Just my own opinion. But let's move on because I feel like we've given the Biebers enough time and we all really want to get into this Taylor Swift and Blake Lively tea. If you're here and you haven't given this video a thumbs up yet, please go ahead and do so because I know a lot of people want to hear this tea. A lot of people are curious. So if you could give this video a thumbs up, we have over 200 people here. That would really help YouTube know that people are engaging and commenting, and it'll be perfect for them to hopefully get their notification. Okay, you guys. So we have a new report from the Daily Mail that Taylor is taking a step back from her friendship with Blake Lively amid her ongoing legal battle with Justin Baldoni. This insider claims that Taylor's final straw was seeing Blake refer to her as a dragon. That infamous dragon text that we have talked about over and over again. She reportedly found that description, quote, uncool and unnecessary. Quick reminder of what exactly that dragon text said, because I want to make sure we're getting it word for word and it's fresh in everyone's mind. This text said, this was again from Blake to Justin. She said if he ever got around to watching Game of Thrones, he would appreciate that she's like Khaleesi, and quote, like her, I happen to have a few dragons, for better or worse, but usually for better, because my dragons also protect those I fight for. So really, we all benefit from those gorgeous monsters of mine. You will too, I can promise you. The reason why this text has been so heavily dissected and discussed is because this comes after the whole back and forth over the It Ends With Us rooftop scene. Blake allegedly writing a version of the rooftop scene that she did not feel like Justin Baldoni took seriously. Justin Baldoni has accused Blake of trying to use Ryan and Taylor to intimidate him into going with her version. And this text kind of points to that intimidation. Again, she says, but usually for better because my dragons also protect those I fight for. So really we all benefit from those gorgeous monsters of mine. You will too, I can promise you. Okay, back to this report. The source said, quote, for the time being, Taylor is taking a step back from Blake because she doesn't want to get tangled in this more than she already has, which is far more than she ever needed to be. This insider noted that those close to Taylor also thought that the whole dragons text was not okay because it felt like Blake was using Taylor as an intimidation tactic and almost using her as a possession. The source said that Taylor shouldn't even be involved in this at all. She was only going over to visit Blake and Ryan with the understanding that the meeting would be over. So this source is saying, again, Taylor was not trying to show up during the meeting. She just happened to show up when Blake, Justin, and Ryan were there. A second source shared that Taylor has politely backed away from it all and she is conscious of her own image and hates that she's even mentioned. Now, I know a lot of people are wanting to drag Taylor over this. A lot of people are wanting to drag Taylor to be like, see, we knew Taylor was a mean girl. Taylor's the worst. Taylor's a snake. Taylor's always the victim. Here she is throwing one of her friends under the bus. Taylor is, you know, public enemy number, I'm going to say actually public enemy number 2 because I feel like Selena has been public enemy number 1 for people. People love to hate Selena. People love to hate Taylor. Me personally, you guys know I've always thought from the beginning that Blake and Ryan did manipulate the facts for Taylor. And I still believe that. I don't care. People are going to say I'm only saying that because I like Taylor. But genuinely, that's what I think and that's what I believe. I believe that Taylor was talking to her friend. Her friend was venting to her about how this man does not take her work seriously. This man is mocking her passion. This man is making her feel uncomfortable. You know, no one ever takes her seriously. Why can't anyone ever take her seriously? And I think Taylor heard all of that and was like, we ride at dawn. And as far as her showing up to the meeting, you know, and this might be controversial, and I'm not just saying this because I like Taylor. Genuinely, I swear, literally, cut off my pinky toe right now. That's like genuinely. I believe that Taylor didn't necessarily show up to that meeting with the intention of like, we're going to intimidate Justin Baldoni today. I think Ryan Reynolds was very strategic of when he told Taylor Swift to show up that day. You guys know I kind of think now, my theory is that like he really is the one who's pulling a lot of these strings. I genuinely think Ryan told Taylor a time to show up. Taylor showed up, saw what was going on, and then obviously, of course, she's going to naturally back her friend. Like, imagine you walk into a situation and your two best friends, you're the godmother of their children, are in a meeting with a guy who they've been telling you doesn't take her seriously, doesn't listen to her, isn't treating her very respectfully. What is your natural response going to be? Oh my God, isn't working with Blake amazing? Isn't Blake so talented at what she does? I would do that. If I walked into a situation with two of my best friends and they're in a room with somebody who I know doesn't treat them well, I'm going to make my loyalty very clear. I'm going to make it known who I ride for in this situation. I'll be nice, I'll be pleasant, I'll be lovely, but I'm going to let my loyalty be known. Now, I think Taylor did that just because that's who she is. I don't think Taylor fully knew that after that situation, probably when, you know, her and Blake have now gone out, Taylor's having her cosmopolitans, she's living her best life. I don't think Taylor knew that Blake was sending texts being like, these are my protectors, these are my monsters, these are my dragons, and if you don't comply, they'll come after you. I don't think Taylor knew that. Taylor has been on the receiving end of those manipulation tactics. People have literally screwed Taylor over by doing things on social media, by taking videos, by trying to be secret, by splicing things together. I genuinely don't think that she knew Blake was leveraging her in that way, which is why the source is saying the whole dragons text for her is like, whoa, girl, a bit much. A bit much. And I wasn't exactly signing up for that. Like, I don't want to be part of that narrative. No, thank you. Alexander said, I know you like Taylor, but at some point she needs to be held accountable for this seemingly naive pretending from a 35-year-old woman. There is no way Taylor did not know the real motives for Blake Lively. Okay, that's very fair. Very fair. I will say, even so, I don't think Taylor will ever, I don't think she would ever come out and speak about it. I think Tree Payne is like, girl, let me do my job. You're never taking ownership. You're never taking account. Like, so I think if people are waiting for Taylor to stand up and be like, yep, I knew what I was doing, regardless of what happened, I don't think that's ever going to happen, because I don't think Tree is going to let her do that and touch this with a 10-foot pole publicly. Kate said, yes, it's sad because she's always referred to them as the safest of spaces and friends to her, and I bet she feels so used. Miss A said that text was so elementary. It was. Miss Jackie X said, I also low-key think Blake gave her a time where she knew Justin would still be there and be like, oh my, your meeting isn't done yet. That's what I think too. Gigi said, I disagree with that. I think Taylor is a target for narcissistic abuse, and she's just genuine and falls for it every time. I can speak from experience. Lizzie said, also, hi, cousin. Lizzie said, Taylor was saying that the meeting with Justin was supposed to be over before she arrived, and she didn't intend to be there for it, but he was still there when she got to Blake's. Exactly. Miss Heather said, Candace Owens went through the timeline earlier, including the Reddit post from someone that was part of the movie. Yes. Candace Owens discussed this report in length today on her show, and Candace Owens thinks that Taylor Swift is the worst, basically. She thinks Taylor Swift, like some of you think, she thinks that Taylor Swift is a snake. She thinks that Taylor Swift knew this. She thinks that Taylor Swift is pretending to not know what's going on. She thinks that Taylor's pretending to be naive. She thinks that Taylor is just going to continue to personally be friends with Blake Lively and not publicly. Candace Owens really thinks that Taylor Swift is like the worst one in this, not the worst one, but she thinks that Taylor is definitely part of the problem in this situation. She thinks Taylor showed up to bully him. She thinks Taylor is pretending all of this. I mean, we were watching clips in the group chat. So I will say I disagree with Candace's interpretation of that, because I obviously think that there was more manipulation at play. Again, I don't even necessarily think that, like, well, Blake obviously had to be in on it, but I really think a lot of this, and I might be so far off and I might be so crazy, but I think a lot of this was Ryan's doing. I think Ryan is not who I thought he was, to be honest with you guys. I genuinely have been sitting up here being like, that man is amazing. I love him and Blake. Like, they're awesome. He's such a smart businessman. Like, I have really been singing that man's praises, and this whole thing has opened my eyes to a new possible side of Ryan Reynolds that I was not aware of. And I'm glad I'm seeing a lot of you are for Candace Owens. I think she has been covering this situation really well. I actually enjoy her entertainment news takes. However, I think my only thing that I would say about Candace Owens is when you are watching her, she does say a lot of things as fact that are still speculations. I would not feel comfortable getting an email from somebody and being like, oh, that's gospel, so I'm going to tell y'all like it's gospel. That getting an email from someone who says they worked on production, that person could have been working crafty and overheard things, and now they're sending an email and kind of exaggerating what they might have heard. You know what I mean? I would just caution you to not, she's very passionate, and she is amazing with her words. But I will see, I think she's great. Because I saw Sweetie sign out say, be careful if she sees this. I've said this over and over again. Like, I think she's amazing. She's a hard worker. She has an incredible, incredible platform. I think it's amazing. I just personally, like, would be cautious saying things that I receive from people as fact. She says it's reputable sources. She feels comfortable doing it. I think that's amazing. Again, she is covering this. Great. I've said it 1,000 times. I've enjoyed watching her cover this. Like, she says what she means and she says it with her whole chest. I'm just telling y'all my own thoughts and opinions, and just like we respect her thoughts and opinions, I'm just telling y'all how I feel. You know that I don't ever really drag how anyone's operating their platform. Like, y'all know that is not me. She is a master of words. Like, she genuinely, when she looks into that camera, you believe what she's saying, you know? Miss Jackie X said, regardless of age, when you're friends and trust someone, if they tell you something is wrong, you trust them and try to help. I don't think it's being naive. I don't feel that that's naive. Again, I'm saying this because I usually try to put myself in people's shoes. And I am telling y'all, I know myself because I am loyal to a fault. Hello, I'm a Taurus. We've talked about this all the time. I am loyal to a fault. And I know for damn sure, I know this is how I would react in a situation. I'm not saying that Taylor Swift and I are the same person. I'm just saying I can understand it because I would do the same. If two of my best friends were telling me some negative things about this man, and I happen to show up and walk in on a meeting that they are having with this man, I am going to sit there and hype my friend up. I am going to make it clear I have her back. I would do that. I would do that based on the information they gave me. 1,000% I would. Call me naive, call me stupid. Maybe Taylor Swift and I are both naive and stupid. But I would do that. And then I would see these lawsuits come out and I'd be like, okay. Would we say I was intimidating him? Because that wasn't my intention. I was just there being a good friend. Like, I was just there. I showed up. I was riding for you. I would do that. So, again, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Taylor's wrong. Maybe, like I said, maybe we're naive. Maybe that's not smart. Maybe at 31, I shouldn't do that for my friends. But that personally is the kind of friend that I am. And then I think seeing this and seeing the texts and seeing the allegations and hearing the voice notes and hearing his perspective and some things from his side would make me kind of take a second and be like, girl, wait, what? I would, like, if I were Taylor, I would have called Blake up and been like, wait, I'm a little confused because I thought he was being an a-hole to you. And these texts are not really giving me as much a-hole energy as you were telling me. This voice note, he's really hyping you up, girl. I'm a little confused. I need to definitely distance myself from the situation a little bit. Like, still love you, but I feel like I was maybe not given all of the facts, you know? Again, you can say I'm biased towards Taylor Swift, but I'm not biased towards Taylor Swift. I'm just telling you how I would react, so that's why I can understand it. Interpret that information how you will. You know what I mean? Let's see. Gigi said, I wanted to be Team Blake, but it's hard out here. I'm still trying to hold out for Ryan. Taylor shouldn't even be involved. Definitely used for influence. That's how I feel too. Also, you know, I think this whole thing is crazy that there is so much discourse over this rooftop scene when Blake literally is on a red carpet telling people that Ryan Reynolds wrote that. Like, I had that thought yesterday. I was driving and I was thinking about all this because I think about all this stuff constantly. And I was driving and I was like, does anyone else find it crazy that we are having all of this discourse, all of this back and forth, all of this dissection over a scene that Blake was on a red carpet saying Ryan Reynolds wrote that part of the movie. And yet they had so many fights and arguments over her allegedly writing it, Justin wanting to write it. It's like, why are we, what? She was on the carpet saying Ryan wrote it. It's just like crazy to me. Rudy said, I love Taylor, but I also think she must know Blake is not always the nicest. Also, Selena doesn't like her and she's been her friend before Blake. So she probably told Taylor about her. Y'all always bring that back up, and that is a very, very good point. Selena has not messed with Blake. And I can't argue with that. You know, maybe Taylor should have paid better attention to Selena. Maybe she should have. I think she was wrapped up. She's the godmother. She's with them all the time. You know, maybe she should have paid better attention when Selena was like, you know what? The vibes aren't vibing for me. And maybe she wouldn't be in this position. You know? Y'all might be right. Joy said, Madison, will you be my dragon? I want your passion in my corner. Joy, be careful what you ask for, because I will say, as cringy as that dragon text is, y'all, like, that is how I am for my people. Like, and anyone who has been friends with me for that long, and y'all know too, because I'm very protective of the House of Hill. Someone comes for us, no way, Jose. But I can be a dragon, for sure. And anyone, the spicy girls, they will tell you. And you know who I learned that behavior from? Mama Hill. Mama Hill is the OG dragon. And she also has mom claws. So she's like dragon behavior with mom claws. You know what I mean? Yeah, Mama Hill will, cousins in the chat saying she can verify. Like, I learned that from Mama Hill. Mama Hill's the OG dragon, okay? She was a dragon before it was trending. Betty said, watch the one sheet about Taylor and John Mayer. She says they only went on one date and Taylor Swift trashed him because he dumped her. He knows it's not true. Wait, watch the one, which one? About Taylor and John Mayer. She says that they only went on one date and Taylor Swift trashed him because he dumped her. Okay, let me know what thing I need to watch. But that was a long time ago. And Taylor did trash John Mayer. Did they only go on one date? I feel like they went on more than one date. But valid, if that is true. She did that. She shouldn't have trashed him if they only went on one date. Cousin said, Mama Hill still scares the hell out of me. You guys, she's iconic. I know we talk about her a lot, but I think you'll know that now. Like, Mama Hill, icon behavior. You guys know I always say it's WWVD. Well, for this case, WWMHD. What would Mama Hill do? Liz said, do you think Blake is a victim of Ryan? I've been seeing people say that. I don't feel fully comfortable making that assumption. I feel like that is a very serious allegation. She was young when they met. They did meet on set. I do feel like he has heavily influenced her. The victim word is where I'm struggling. I just feel like that is a very serious accusation, but I do think he has heavily influenced her. I do think that she is very much in this predicament because of Ryan. Like I said, my view on him has really shifted a lot in this process, and I fully own that. I mean, you guys know whenever we talked about, remember when we talked about Martha Stewart? And Martha Stewart did that interview where she said Ryan Reynolds wasn't funny. If you go back and you watch that happy hour, I think it was a happy hour hang where we talked about it, I fully am defending Ryan Reynolds to the hilt. Like, I am up there being like, and I know this because I was thinking about it. I was saying how, you know, Ryan Reynolds isn't always playing a character. Everyone's allowed to have a bad day. I don't believe he's a bad person. Maybe, you know, I mean, I fully am like, no, Ryan Reynolds couldn't be him. I'm telling you, the rose-colored glasses for me have been removed when it comes to Ryan and Blake. Hi, Tammy. Hello, hello. Contrary to what people think just because I'm a fan of Taylor Swift that I'm like, Blake and Ryan are right and I'm writing for them. Not at all. And I think if you've been watching our daily updates about this and you've been watching my coverage about this, I am not writing for Ryan and Blake at all. At all. If anything, I feel like I've been questioning Ryan and Blake a lot more since a lot of the receipts have been coming out, you know? Definitely not writing for them hard at all. I am writing for the receipts. I'm writing for seeing as much as I possibly can. Because so far I feel like a lot of the receipts that have come out, I'm not fully like, oh, Blake and Ryan are telling us everything. I think that there's a lot that's still left to be interpreted and a lot that still needs to be clarified, to be honest with you guys. Chris said Ryan and Blake were less known actors long before they met each other. Leo said Happy Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, Taylor Swift, Colleen Hoover are over party. Jelena said I think Ryan may be in charge, but Blake is going with it and complicit in it. I think a lot of people feel that way as well. She always name drops. Now I think Ryan's ego changed my mind about him. And this whole thing is going to court, because I just saw Marie ask. This whole thing is going to court in March of 2026. March of 2026, which I know math is not my strongest suit, but I can do that math. And that is over a year from now. And I cannot lie to you guys, that sounds literally terrible. Like, if I can just be completely honest with you guys, literally terrible. I cannot picture us doing this for a whole year. I have been hoping that they settle this outside of court. Blake Lively's attorneys have every time they make a statement been like, we're going to court, we're going to court. This will play out in a court of law, blah, 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 blah. I'm still hoping they settle. I'm hoping they settle. I am hoping, because I can't do this for a year. I can't do this for a year. Y'all can't do this for a year. I don't want that. I don't want to talk about this for a year, to be honest. I also think what Crimson Rose, oh my God, we're literally right here. I think a lot also will depend on what happens with the gag order. I think if the judge places a gag order on Justin Baldoni and his attorney, they probably won't settle and they won't be able to talk about it. So then they'll wait until the trial. But I think if they don't issue the gag order and they're still allowed to talk in public and still allowed to leak things and whatever, both sides are able to leak things, then I think hopefully a settlement will happen before then. But yeah, I think Blake, best case scenario is Justin Baldoni gets a gag order. He's not allowed to talk about it, release things, and she hopes that people will kind of forget. And then I think what's going to happen is Blake will start releasing things, then Justin will try to get a gag order on Blake. It's going to be a back and forth. Betty said Candace Owens, did one about Taylor accusing her of ruining John Mayer's life, saying she went on only one date with him and he dumped her. She's a liar who hates Taylor Swift. Oh, Betty. Okay, now I get what you're saying. Yeah, 1,000,000%. That's what I was saying. Like, Candace Owens, in my opinion, has been like foaming at the mouth for a reason to hate on Taylor Swift more. She really does not like Taylor Swift, which is totally fine. Just like I like Taylor Swift and I'm allowed to like her, Candace Owens is allowed to hate Taylor Swift and drag her. We have two different perspectives on that situation, which is totally fine. I'm with you, LH. I think John Mayer ruined his reputation way before Taylor Swift. I think it's crazy how everyone forgets he did an absolutely completely disrespectful interview about Jennifer Aniston in Rolling Stone. Like, John Mayer kind of made people look at him in a different light completely by himself before Taylor Swift came along. Betty said, and now you're using her as a source. I'm not using her as a source. I was simply just bringing up Candace Owens because there has been a lot of discourse around her and her coverage of this Blake, Justin, Taylor situation. I'm not using her as a source. I'm just referencing her because people have been bringing her up in my comments. People have been messaging me about her comments. And I feel like her clips are going viral where people are saying, Madison, I saw this. What do you think of this? So it's not that I'm using her as a source and saying whatever Candace Owens says is gospel. Actually, quite contrary. I am just referencing her because people have been bringing her up. You know what I mean? That's literally all it is. I'm not using her as a source. Like I told you guys, I actually disagree with how she handles things. Like, I would not get an email and present that as fact. I don't know how much more I can make myself clear. I think you can respect somebody's hustle and hard work and also say, but I don't agree with what they're saying. I don't know. I feel like that, you know, I feel like that's a fair thing. Maybe you can't, but I feel like you can. I feel like you can say like, wow, someone's a hard worker, but I don't agree with what they're saying. That's how I feel anyway. Let's see. Joy said, the next movie, it ends in court. Don't want them to settle. I want to see Blake's receipts. We shall see. We shall see. Leo said, we're not here for Candace. We're here for the tea. That is the tea. 1,000,000%. Tammy said, not that I'm on Team Blake or Justin, but word on the street is that Blake has more evidence that they're keeping quiet on for now. Which, if that's the case, then we'll wait till 2026 and see it. You know what I mean? Crystal Vibe said, this is already getting old. I don't know if I believe anyone in the situation is innocent, but honestly, I think by the time this is over, the public are going to be sick of everyone involved. Literally. Also, thank you, Patricia. Patricia, that is such a sweet compliment, and I really, really appreciate you. And I am just sending you love. Okay, let's do a palette cleanser. Woo! That Blake and Taylor and Justin was a lot. Little Tavis palette cleanser to end on a fun note. That's how we like to do things here. We like to end on a positive note if we can and have fun. If you're here, give this video a thumbs up if you haven't already. A little Tavis palette cleanser, you guys. We have a new report from Us Magazine. A source said that Taylor really has integrated herself into the Kelsey family and that everyone has fully embraced her. A second source noted that everyone knows how close Travis is with his family, so it means everything to him how Taylor seamlessly blends in. The source said it almost feels like she's known his family forever, and he loves that about her. Doesn't everyone feel better? I feel better already. My anxiety heightened from the Taylor, Blake, Justin conversation, and I already feel it coming back down, knowing that the source is saying, you know what? Taylor is one with the Kelseys. It's like they've known her forever. This is very important for Travis. She's well integrated into the fam. Donna loves her. Kylie loves her. That is the kind of tea that we need for our soul, that we need to end this on. She's part of the fam. Again, I think it really speaks volumes that they bring the nieces around her. Like, I don't think Travis would introduce Taylor to his young nieces if it wasn't serious. So I'm living for it. This is a great update. I was happy to see it. And I just love her and Donna going to the games, being on the field with Travis after. I love it all. I love it all. Yes, on the New Heights episode, the producers were singing her praises as well, which I think also speaks volumes. I know people are going to watch this and be like, this girl just only loves Taylor Swift. Yeah, I do. Sorry. I do. I like her. I can't help it. Let's see. Miss Jackie X said, Maddie, do we have any updates on Selena? Hope she's doing okay. No updates other than her, obviously, we know she deleted the crying video, responded saying, you know, I can't show empathy. And then she did respond to the senator who said that Selena should be deported, which is just such a stupid thing to say. She responded and was like, LOL, okay. She was like, thanks for the laugh and the threat. Other than that, things have been pretty quiet on her front, which I think is good. I think she needs some time to just decompress. I think she needs some time to just kind of steer clear. People were really coming for her hard. And so I think it's good that she's just chilling. I feel like no Selena news today, in my opinion, is good Selena news. Girl needs a break. Girl needs a day. You know what I mean? So I think it's good that we haven't heard anything one way or the other. No, of course. I'm so glad you asked. They're always, people, y'all know, I say it all the time. Selena breathes and people are upset. It sounds ridiculous, but it's so true. That is literally what happens. And you guys know I got on a, soapbox about it on Monday, how we have just become so cynical that we see someone showing genuine emotion and we think it's fake. Like, I don't know how we got to that point, but it makes me sad that that's where we're at as a society, that we see someone showing genuine emotion and we're like, oh, fake. Crazy. Jelena, I did see he was looking angry. He was looking angry. But he said, it was a question, not a statement. I wasn't accusing there's a question mark at the end. Oh, no, it's fine. I don't know. Oh, I must have missed something. I'm sorry, Betty. I'm sorry. About the Candace Owens. I see what you're saying. You're saying you weren't saying I was using her as a source. People are using her as a source. I got you. We're here. We're here. We're here. I got you now. I was like, question mark, question mark. Got you. We're Gucci. We're Gucci. But people are, it was still a valid point to bring up, Betty, because people are using it as gospel. Or as gospel, as fact, Bible, as the Kardashians used to say. So very valid point. Robert said that'd also be iconic. Let's say Selena acts on impulse and emotion, but she means well. 1,000,000%. And that's what I said about the whole thing. I'm like, you can disagree with what she was saying. You can disagree with her take. You can disagree with her posting that video, but she did not mean any malintent behind it. Like I said, it's crazy to me that people can see genuine emotion and be like, she's faking it. She's making this about her. She's attention seeking. It's like, she's sobbing. What? She is sobbing. People are crazy. You know what I mean? People are crazy. Yeah, Megyn Kelly was brutal towards Selena. Maria, I just saw a couple headlines about it. I didn't give her a view because she doesn't deserve the view. But yeah, she's pretty brutal. Everyone was brutal. Not everyone. I don't feel like we were brutal, but a lot of people were brutal. But that is all I have for you guys. That is all the tea. I'm glad I feel like we really had well-rounded conversations today. Does anyone else feel like that? I feel like we got into tea, but we also discussed a lot. I feel like we really got into the nitty-gritty of stuff. And I feel like it was a really good conversation. We had some really good back and forth. Oh my God, Krista, yay! Krista, welcome to the membership. Oh my God, what's the best way to end this happy hour hang? Welcome to the membership, Krista. After this, make sure you go to the community tab for members and click on the invite link. Give me 5 minutes to make sure it's updated, and click on the invite link. That way you can get in the group chat right away, because that is something you're going to want to take advantage of immediately. Krista, so excited to have you in the membership. Thank you so much for joining. You're not going to regret it. You're going to have so much fun. You guys, if you're still here, could you please give this video a thumbs up if you haven't done so already? Make sure you share this video as well. We're trying to grow the House of Hill. You guys know I feel like the rest of the internet needs our vibes, needs our energy. So I am really, really hoping that we can keep growing and getting more people into our fam and into our amazing community. Make sure you guys are following me on Instagram, TikTok, all that fun stuff, y'all. And I hope you have a fantastic, fantastic rest of your evening. And I will see y'all next time. Bye, guys.